right, super. So, as you know, I'm going to be talking about how to make a YouTube channel to build an audience. So, we all want to make great video games, obviously, and sell them to the world and have millions of people loving it. It's a very cool goal to have, but it isn't easy. So, obviously, there's the massive challenge of making a great game. So, from art to programming to music and design. Games are complex things to create for sure. Especially if you're an indie game developer where you need to be good at lots of different things if you hope to ever finish a great game. To finish a game is an incredible feat. Even a small free web game, it's yours, and lots of passion and hard work was put into it, and you deserve to have people play it. But a huge majority of games, sadly, are released and just completely ignored. And I was one of those developers. The first 6 or 7 games, small web games I made, were only played and reviewed by my family and a few friends. They weren't groundbreaking games, of course, but that absolute silence and lack of feedback did feel a bit weird and discouraging at times. So I realized that not only I needed to keep improving as a developer, a programmer, artist, and game designer, but if I wanted to turn this hobby into a full-time thing, I would need to find a way to share my work with the rest of the world and get people knowing about me and caring about what I create. So in this talk, basically I'm going to be covering the fundamentals of making a YouTube channel. Making YouTube videos is not only a ton of fun, really is, but of course it'll help you build up that passionate audience that will support you and play your game when it does come out, when it does get released. So we'll cover why making a YouTube channel is awesome and should seriously be considered to build up an audience, obviously. We'll also take a look at how to start a YouTube channel, from the equipment needed, types of videos to create, building a cool brand, and lots more. And finally, we'll take a look at the few downsides of making and upkeeping a YouTube channel. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, of course, but it mostly is. But there's a few downsides that are important to keep in mind. So, first of all, a bit more detail about me. So I'm Noah, again. I'm 19 years old, and I have a YouTube channel called BlackthornProd, which has over 100,000 subscribers now, and it's all about game dev, of course. So I seriously started making games almost 3 years ago, which isn't that much, but ever since opening up Unity, I've just been in love with game creation, and there's hardly been a day that goes by without me just programming, making game art, creating videos about game dev, or just fiddling with Unity and so on. So I've completed 31 games in all. Most of them are small, some are a bit crap, but one thing is for sure, each one has taught me a lot and has helped me improve as a game developer. And currently I'm finishing up my very first commercial game called The Dreadful Whispers, which is a 2D platformer about overcoming your fears. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, I have a YouTube channel, BlackthornProd, which is focused on game dev. And lastly, I'm also a Udemy instructor, which means I made 2 game dev Udemy courses with my brother. So I've done quite a lot of things, but this talk's going to be focused on my YouTube channel and how that helps me grow this audience and really improve as a game developer. So that is the first question we're going to be asking is, why YouTube? So there are literally hundreds of games getting released every single day, as we know. As a result, when you release your own game, it can be very, very hard for it to get the attention it deserves. Unless your game is absolutely phenomenal or incredibly innovative, if you haven't done any marketing for it and release it with nobody even knowing about it beforehand, then your game is very likely to be completely ignored. And that's pretty awful, especially if the game is good and you've put so much passion and hard work into it. If hardly anyone plays your game, you won't also be able to turn game dev into your full-time job, and you'll also find it a lot harder to improve because you won't get that precious feedback from players and that structured criticism from players, because as a developer, it can be hard to spot your own game's flaws. Is the game too easy? Maybe for you, the developer, it is, because you've been playing your own game for hundreds of hours. But for the average player, your own game, the game might be ridiculously hard, and you won't know that unless you get feedback and criticism and stuff from players. So yeah, having an audience is really important. You want your games to be played, especially if you want to turn game dev into a full-time job and not just a hobby. You want to improve as a developer thanks to player feedback and understand what people like about your games, but also what they dislike or find unfair. And of course, having people play your game can be very motivating and keep you excited to continue working on your craft and improving your skills. So there are obviously lots of ways to build up an audience, but I'll focus in this talk on the only way I'm experienced with, and that's through YouTube. So yes, having a YouTube channel is a great way to build up a passionate fan base, people who play whatever you make, give you feedback, and support you throughout your game dev journey. Marketing yourself with YouTube can be lots of fun. It's also a way to stay completely independent. You're not relying on some publisher, and you're not working for a big company. You're building up your very own audience and yeah, people who just care about you and what you make, which is really awesome. So YouTube can mean being independent, yes, and YouTube can also be a source of income while you work on your game. For example, you can enable ads on your videos, which will give you a certain amount of money every month, depending on how many people watch your content. Initially, with only a few hundred views per video, you'll hardly get any money from ad revenue. But the more your audience grows and the more views you get, the more money you'll also receive, obviously. And you can also set up a Patreon page for passionate supporters of your work to give you monthly donations. You can open up a merch store or even look for cool sponsors to earn some extra money while you work on your game project. I have a whole video on my channel on exactly how much money I earn, which I recommend you check out after all these talks, of course. So yeah, YouTube is an awesome way to build up an audience, stay independent, but also earn some money so you don't starve yourself and maybe even your family while you work on your game. And for lots of other reasons, as we'll see throughout this talk. So how do you start this YouTube channel? What equipment do you need? What types of videos should you create? And what else will YouTube give you? So first of all, name your YouTube channel. You've got to give it a name. My channel and company name is called BlackthornProd. Which is weird and pretty hard to pronounce for some people, but now I'm stuck with it, and I've grown to really like the name despite its quirkiness. So yeah, in short, the name of your channel won't really make or break it. You can name your channel after your real name, or find a cool, stylish company name. Just do whatever feels right to you. Next up, and very importantly, make videos, of course. The only way you're going to start building up a passionate audience is by uploading great videos consistently. So since the goal here is to get an audience that will in the future buy your game, you should make videos related to game dev or the gaming world. Don't start posting gardening or wildlife or dance videos because your audience might not at all be interested in making or in playing games, of course. So what are the types of videos that you should consider making on your YouTube channel to build up that audience? So the first type of videos that you should definitely think about making are tutorials. That's how I started my YouTube channel. I made lots of tutorials on programming, game art, animation, and more. Basically, I helped a lot of people. I shared all my knowledge and experience for free, and because of that, people began to feel really thankful towards me. I was being generous and helpful towards them, and they thanked me by subscribing to my channel, leaving really nice comments, and even just donating a few dollars on Patreon. So tutorials were a way for me to give, and eventually people will give back in return. Making tutorials were also a way for me, also taught me a lot and made me a better game developer. It's amazing how teaching can just help you learn as well. For example, people might request I make a random dungeon generation tutorial series. I would have no clue how to do that. But since so many people were asking, I had the motivation to learn how to do so. And that sort of pressure helped me learn faster and figure stuff out. It was kind of like a good pressure. And then teaching to others what I had learned firmly anchors that knowledge within me. Plus, having people regard me as a wise, very knowledgeable teacher, even if that wasn't at all the case, made me feel and start to behave like one. It gave me confidence and removes a lot of doubts in me, which again helps me improve and grow faster. Second video type are devlogs. Now, in these videos, you basically document your own game dev journey. You basically share with them your journey. You can talk about what tools and softwares you're using, the progress you've been making on your game, new characters and features added, and so on. It's basically like a vlog, but game developer style. So you can either focus on your game dev lifestyle or focus more on your game, or both. I love making devlogs and I love watching these. It's really cool. So by watching you make your own game, your viewers can get motivated to make their own. They might also really relate to the sort of life you're living and feel closer to you, and as a result be more supportive. Sharing the progress you make in a devlog video is also a great way to get people really excited about your game and eager to buy and play it when it eventually gets released. Now, during each devlog video, make sure to ask your audience to let you know what they think of your game and the progress you're making. Ask them for advice or suggestions. For example, should the end boss be a dragon or a giant? Let me know in the comment section down below. So this way people will feel even closer to you and your game, because they'll actually be interacting with you and feel like they played an actual part in the creation of this game. And of course, with devlogs, you'll be getting lots of feedback. If you're a cool guy and respect your audience and show passion and enthusiasm for what you're making, then that feedback will tend to be very positive and encouraging. It can also be very helpful, so you'll be able to improve your game. And of course, running a devlog makes you accountable. You can no longer just give up on your game project nice and quiet with nobody knowing, because if you quit, hundreds, if not thousands of people will know that you quit. So you'll definitely think twice. And yeah, you'll procrastinate a lot less too. If you don't make any progress, people will also know, because you'll have nothing to show in your weekly devlog video or whatever. But yeah, the most important is that you have fun. So tutorials and devlogs are great ways to build up an audience for sure. Also improve as a developer. However, you can also make Let's Play videos or analyze your favorite video games and talk about their design and what makes them so cool. Just do whatever you want, whatever you find the most fun to create. Because if you don't have fun creating the videos, then you'll give up and all this will be for nothing, of course. Okay, consistency. Now, of course, consistency is key, especially when starting out. You need to try your best to upload videos regularly on your channel to build up that audience. If you can upload one video per week, that's awesome. If not, try at least one every 2 weeks. Now, quality is more important than quantity, so one great video per month is a lot better than 2 crappy rushed videos per week. But just keep in mind that the more videos you upload, the faster your audience will grow. Again, considering that what you upload is actually interesting or helpful and entertaining. Now, if you're very inconsistent, especially when just starting out, people will usually quickly forget about you and your work, and YouTube won't promote your videos as much. So be consistent, and yeah, quality over quantity. Very, very important. As I just said, lots of crappy videos won't get you very far at all. So make videos that you yourself would enjoy watching. Now, this doesn't mean you need super expensive, top-notch quality equipment, of course not. But what you say and show in your tutorials or devlogs, for example, should be interesting and entertaining, or helpful, of course. And keep your videos relatively short, especially tutorials. They shouldn't be longer than 20 minutes max. The best thing being between 5 and 10 minutes, in my opinion, so viewers don't get bored or lose concentration and stop watching your video before it has even ended. Also, you must avoid at all costs making a video where you're mostly mumbling or even making mistakes and fixing those during the video. About 5 years ago, when I was 14, I started a YouTube channel and uploaded tutorials to it on how to use a 3D application called Maya. And I would basically just hit the record button and begin talking and showing people how to make something with no preparation beforehand. So despite knowing and understanding the tool, the tutorials were terrible because I was mumbling, hesitating, and making mistakes due to the fact that I hadn't prepared first. And so I would upload this 30 minutes mess that no one even watched, thankfully. So here's a quick guide on how I make a video nowadays. I start by writing down word for word everything I'm going to say in the video, the entire script. This way I can find the right words, figure out the best way to explain a certain concept or tool if I'm working on a tutorial, and try and keep the video relatively short, engaging, and even entertaining. Now, I'm doing all this preparation work beforehand, so I'm not freestyling my way through a video. This guarantees that there won't be any mumbling, hesitation, or mistakes during the video. Then I record my voice several times if need be, until I read the whole script perfectly with a clear voice and no stammering or mistakes. And once that's all done, I can begin editing. This is when I find or make bits of footage to match up with what I'm saying. So if I'm making, for example, a tutorial on coloring game characters in Photoshop, and I say at some point in the video, I'll color this character in orange, then I'll record the screen showing myself coloring a character in orange and place that bit of footage to match up with my voice. Now, of course, making a video this way takes a lot more time and energy, but you'll get better, more polished results. This method works especially well for tutorials. Of course, if you're creating a devlog, you probably won't make your video this way. You might record anything interesting you're doing during the day and talk about it, and then just assemble all of that for your video. And of course, if you're creating a Let's Play video, you'll just capture your on-the-spot, unedited reactions to keep the video fresh and fun. Now, making a great video will, of course, just take practice, and everyone is going to have different ways of doing so. Video editing and creation is a whole skill in itself. So yeah, just keep at it, keep practicing, and you'll get better for sure. Okay, equipment. Now, again, you don't need really expensive equipment and softwares to make great videos. I do recommend, however, that you spend just a bit of money on buying a decent microphone so that your voice sounds good. I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone, which costs about $150. I've had it for a year and a half, and it still works brilliantly. It's a great buy for sure if you want your voice to sound clear and crisp. To edit my videos, record my voice, and capture footage, I use Camtasia Studio 9, which costs about $200, but you can of course use free softwares, especially when starting out. For example, Lightworks or Audacity to record your voice. And if you plan on filming yourself or your surroundings, for example, for a devlog, then you can just use your phone or a cheap camera. You really don't need ultra HD quality images to gather a following and get people interested in what you make. Yeah, don't make that an excuse for not starting. Of course, there's nothing wrong with getting great equipment if you can afford it and really want it to up the quality of your content. It's just not a prerequisite. You decide what you want to do. All right, now I have some miscellaneous tips for you to make a really great video. So first of all, keep the intro short. I see quite a few tiny YouTubers make videos with intricate, super long intros. I myself was guilty of that. The first videos on my channel have an intro that lasts 10 seconds. That's way too long, especially since mine was pretty boring. So yeah, keep the animated intro no longer than 3 to 4 seconds, or don't put any at all. And don't promote anything at the start of the video, especially when starting out. So for example, don't go asking people to follow you on Twitter or support you on Patreon as soon as the video starts. Do all that at the end of the video, especially, again, when you're starting out and when nobody really cares about you. Because yeah, we live in a time where there's just so much content coming out on YouTube every single day, and the attention span and patience for most people is pretty short. So if what you make isn't almost immediately interesting or helpful, then a classic viewer won't hesitate clicking on another video. Another cool and easy thing to do to make your content better and more interesting is add some quiet background music. So no singing voice, just instruments. Not only will this fill in the moments of quiet in a video, like a tutorial for example, but will also add more atmosphere and a feeling of polish to your video. Considering the music isn't too loud, of course, or fast-paced or annoying. The last thing you want is to stop people from being able to concentrate because of bad music. Also try and sound motivated and excited. Unless you're making a very serious or sad video, then you should try and sound happy. Especially for tutorials, which can be pretty boring. So yeah, sounding happy and enthusiastic will generally make people like you more and enjoy your content more as well. Plus, some of that passion and motivation in your voice will pass on to your viewers, and they'll start to feel the same way too. Now, you don't need to sound super excited and motivated either for your viewers to like you and your content. Sounding calm, relaxed, caring, or a bit funny can be as effective and cool. Just avoid sounding angry, sad, or bored. Often I'll watch tutorials or even devlogs where the developer sounds downright bored. And that's a sure way to also bore your viewers and lose on potential supporters. And last but very important little tip, be unique. Try and make content that can't be found anywhere else. That's really how you're going to build up that audience. So if you're making tutorials, try and make tutorials on topics that have hardly ever been covered before. Or if you make a tutorial on a very well-known topic, still try and make the video unique and interesting by explaining it in a different way, from a different angle, or add humor to the tutorial, or explain a tricky topic with cool pictures and cartoon characters. So yeah, be aware of what's already out there, analyze existing videos so that you don't just end up making a copy of existing content. All right, here's some tips on growing your audience. So as we talked about before, you need to be consistent. People will begin to look forward to your next video. And of course, the more videos you have, the more likely people are to find at least one, possibly subscribe and watch lots more. And then there's YouTube that tends to promote your content more if you're consistent. You want to make great videos, obviously, and that will take time and practice. Again, like with any skill, the more you do, the better you'll get. You'll also want to add good tags and titles to your videos. Definitely, make them descriptive and fun. I won't get into that in this talk, but I recommend you do some research on how to write good video titles and tags to get more viewers and have YouTube promote your content more. Also, make sure to post your videos on various game dev forums, on Reddit, Facebook, or even on Discord servers. And slowly but surely establish a cool brand for yourself that people will recognize and learn to love. So use a certain color or font in all your videos, thumbnails that people will recognize as yours, or have an awesome mascot character that represents you and your channel. Establishing a brand takes time, but you need to consistently work on it. Make your brand unique and have it reflect your personality or video style. So thumbnails should have your own unique style that people will spot when scrolling through a long list of videos. Same thing for your channel's banner and logo, of course. Give it your own style and be consistent with that style so people don't get lost looking for your content and understands that all these videos come from the same creator. Again, making a cool brand would take a whole talk, so I can't go into any further detail right now. I just recommend you do some research on that before starting your channel. All right, last but not least, don't give up. Now, we can go on and on about best strategies to grow your audience, but in my opinion, the most important thing you can possibly do is not give up. For an enormous majority of YouTubers, your channel will grow very, very slowly at first. Now, even if you make amazing original videos, you're still very likely to only get a handful of views and subscribers during the first few months, even first year. It took me 5 months to get my first 500 subscribers. But if you keep working on your channel, keep improving the quality of your videos and bettering your brand and game dev skills, then you'll eventually reach that audience you deserve, of course. And the good news is, yes, your channel will grow very slowly at first, but if you don't give up, it will tend to grow faster and faster as time goes on and you have more and more videos. So it took me 5 months to get 500 subscribers, and then a month later I had doubled, reaching 1,000 subs, and 6 months later I had 10,000, and 10 months after that I reached 100K. So yes, it's great to have followers and lots of views, but those won't come very fast initially. So it's important to not get discouraged and focus instead on enjoying the video creation process and cherish the few subscribers you do have. And remember, running a YouTube channel is more than just about building up an audience that will buy and play your game. Yes, that's an important factor and a great reward for the hard work you put into your channel. But as we've seen, you'll learn a lot by making videos and you'll acquire new skills like video editing and being consistent and establishing a brand. And yes, don't obsessively compare the amount of views or subscribers you have on your channel compared to some other channel. Doing so is usually just a very good way to feel discouraged and begin to measure your self-worth and the self-worth of others based on numbers, which is obviously very wrong. Which brings us to the couple downsides that come with having a YouTube channel. So first of all, YouTube can be a lot of work. If you're determined to build a great channel, you'll have to put in a ton of time and energy. Nothing great comes easily, of course. And that, of course, means you'll have less time and energy to spend on actually making your game, or relaxing, or spending time with friends and family. So it's very important to not overwork and completely burn out, which has happened to me on a number of occasions. Having thousands of subscribers is not at all worth it if you're stressed out and exhausted. Your physical and mental health are your greatest priorities, of course. Always remember that. Secondly, devlogs aren't always the best. Now, making devlogs is great, as we've seen in this talk, but it might not be a great thing to do for every type of game. Games that are very linear or very short or rely heavily on secrets and player discovery or plot twists will be difficult to cover in a devlog without spoiling the experience. I'm making a game called The Dreadful Whispers, which is a short puzzle platformer. And so when making my devlogs, I was torn between showing everything I had done that week and not showing anything because I was worried I would spoil the experience. So yeah, keep that in mind before making a devlog, or yeah, really just try and design a game that would be great to cover in a devlog. Unlike what I did, a short puzzle platformer, not the best. Another downside to YouTube is getting addicted to numbers, like your subscriber count, as I said before, or views per video, and losing sight of what really matters, which is making great games, learning, and having fun while doing so. Like all avid social media users, you'll almost certainly go through periods where you'll obsessively refresh your channel page to check for new comments or subscribers, and spend just hours poring over analytics and comparing your numbers to the numbers of others. It's just a part of the YouTube journey. You'll have to learn how to stay disciplined and not fixate on these things that aren't nearly as important as you might initially think and won't bring you more happiness. Like when I had 100 subscribers, I used to think that having 10,000 would be amazing, mind-blowing, and make me very happy and fulfilled. But then I reached that number, and I was far from satisfied. Like I wasn't satisfied really. I already wanted 50,000. And when I got that, I was still unsatisfied, and so on. Basically, your money, subscribers, views, you can live in a state of constantly wanting more. And that will leave you feeling very unfulfilled and unhappy. So don't focus too much on that. Easy to say, a lot harder to do, of course. And lastly, you'll sometimes have to deal with haters or unfair criticism. Avoiding it completely is impossible. If you're trying to make or do something great, there will always be people to doubt you or say negative things about you, no matter how nice you are, no matter how great what you make is. Just ignore it and realize that they don't really hate you. They're usually just angry at themselves for either being lazy or having given up on their own passion or goals. So, to conclude, that's the basics of making a YouTube channel to build up that audience that's so important, really. So there's some downsides to it, as I just mentioned. Like with any job, really, there's always going to be a few downsides, but I think the positives of having a YouTube channel outweigh largely the negatives. You'll earn money, get players that care about your game and give you feedback, learn new skills, have fun, and be more motivated and disciplined. The main takeaway here is if you're consistent, if you don't give up, and if you keep trying to improve your content, then you'll build up that audience for sure. It's certain. If you really hate or find the process of making videos boring and only want big view counts, lots of subscribers, and money, then YouTube is definitely not the right thing for you. Do it to build up an audience, but not only. It also needs to be because you like doing it and are open to learning and being disciplined and patient. Remember, no matter how slow or hard things are or get, you're already miles in front of everyone that isn't even trying. I just love that quote. Even if you make a little bit of an effort every time, you're already doing great. Okay, thanks so much for listening to this talk. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you want more from me and learn more about my games, my YouTube videos, my game dev courses, just check out my website, www.BlackthornProd.com. And yeah, that's about it.
Man, what an incredible presentation, man. Like, we sat here start to finish. I was watching all the Twitch comments. First, people were like, oh, we love this guy. Then they were like asking questions, and then they're like, oh wait, he's answering my question. So, man, a lot of foresight. Good job.
Yeah, I think you go ahead.
Should I just put the light on? I realized it just got really dark.
Rocks your boat.
There we go. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, way better.
Much better.
Okay.
I mean, you were covering this already. So you said you've been at this about 2 years now, or a little longer. How much?
It's been almost 2 years. Yeah, in August it will be 2 years.
Amazing 2 years of progress. And it's one of those things that, of course, if you read the title, it's one of those things that you have to think about now. YouTube is, if anything, is the most I think besides Twitter, YouTube is like the purest form of getting your videos out to a direct audience, right? You build up the subscriber base and people will be able to find it without going through all these ad loops or anything like that. And it is the video platform for anything that you want to publish video. With that being said, let's get to the questions, right? We have a lot. So again, for anyone, you can ask in Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching. We do have moderators. We have our little birds over there to help filter questions to us. So this comes from Funny Mushroom. The question is, how do you be unique? How do you make really interesting content for users?
Well, it's very tough. Very, very tough. I think it's very hard to be unique when you're just starting out. You can't find that uniqueness the more you do it. So initially, maybe don't. So obviously, it's good to strive and try and be unique, but don't stress about it too much. Just try and do a great job. Try and have fun in what you're doing. Just really trying to enjoy the process. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. The more original you're going to get. Also, it's about analyzing the videos and games that already do exist, and trying to just be different from them. So if you see like some guys teaching something in a certain way, and maybe you think that can be improved by adding pictures, kind of illustrating what the guy's saying, or again, teaching it and being a bit funny, or even making a game, teaching people how to make games. There's all kinds of ways to be unique. So analyze other people, what they're making, and just try and be different from them. It's tough. Being original, it comes with experience, I think, and really enjoying what you're doing.
That's dope, dude. Next question I have comes from Left-Handed Heather. Heather, thanks for returning for day number 2. I recognize the name from yesterday. Question number 1 from her is, how do you feel about consistency versus style? Or wait, hold on. Okay. How do you feel about consistency of style versus the variety of style? So for example, all of your videos are about game development, but the content changes, right? Because one game may be very cartoony with simple gameplay, and then another game you may be working on later is more elegant and has like a higher emphasis on story, etc. So that will probably change the type of content that you're showing. So what's your strategy for being consistent throughout, even as your content types to change?
So where I think is important to be consistent is, first of all, in how often you upload videos, in the quality of your content, and also kind of the brand style. So each like thumbnail should have that, recognizable art style or recognizable font or mascot, so people know that is from the same creator. But obviously, if you're too consistent in what you make, so if you're always doing the same type of game or the same kind of tutorial and stuff, people are going to get bored. So it's important to be consistent for certain things, but also be very inventive and try and be always different for other kinds of things. So you always try and make different types of videos and different types of games from the same creator, but kind of just innovate in that. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting your viewers feeling a bit bored of what you're making. You yourself will get bored if you always make the same thing. So try and be innovative on that side of things. If you want to make, you're making a shooter, don't start making 10 shooter games just to be consistent. You just do other things.
All right. So the next question here is from Freddie Ilha. The question is, how do you deal with haters? I don't know what that is. Do you have any? Yeah. I know some people that quit YouTube because people have been very mean for no reason. How do you deal with that?
So if you have like a dagger in the heart piece of advice, like even more so than like towards the end that you had?
Luckily, I've not had too much hate. Really, not at all much. Like the community has just been so supportive ever since I started this journey. So I've really not had that many haters. I've been lucky on that front. Afterwards, of course, I have had some. And either I just ignore it because they just write a mean comment, for example, and I see it and just no needs to answer it really. It's There's no point fixating on that one bad comment when you've got hundreds of other great ones. Is useless. Afterwards, if you've got haters that are close to you, like maybe even friends or neighbors or even your family, that can kind of be very doubtful towards what you're doing at first, or even like have hate on what you're doing. I've not had much of that at all, but I guess it's just important to not pay that much attention to it. Just stay true to you, do what you feel is right, and again, know that these haters, they're just very, I think, very like they're not really happy with themselves. I don't think any really successful and happy person will hate on somebody else. That's not true. So just know that that person is just probably not feeling good inside and is taking out on you, or all of his insecurities about, what you should do in life and stuff are coming out to you. So yeah, just ignore it. They're really not that important. It's just that's really about it.
Yeah, that's key right there, because a lot of people will like to project. They'll see someone else failing or doing something like a small thing, like what this guy bought his mom $100,000 car. Here's 10 reasons why this person will not be successful. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this person just bought their mother $100,000 car. Like, relax.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're doing well enough.
I definitely sign off on that too. Just to add on that, I think a lot of haters want attention. Obviously, I think that's first priority. But as soon as you start talking to these, some, of course, most or some are untalkable. But I feel like a good portion just wants to have an interaction with you, and this is the way they kind of reach out and get attention. Because it's true, you kind of browse past all the nice comments to look at the haters, to see the negative comments, see what you're doing wrong, right? Which is kind of backwards, and it's something that we need to fix as a society.
And I'll take one moment before I ask you the next question. I think I was watching like a Joe Rogan podcast clip, and he was like, "Do you think Michael Jordan leaves YouTube comments?" That put it in perspective. He was like, someone successful is like focusing on success and living like a good life. Yeah. The last thing that they're doing is trudging through.
It's true,
especially if they're secure. So anyway, I've got a comment, comes from X Spitzy. It looks like it says, let's see. How do you deal with the slow growing period? Like, how do you keep motivation to keep making good videos and deal with the YouTube growth system, which is really bad for small content creators who still make really good content?
Oh, yeah, right. That's something I've been having trouble with. I think all YouTubers go through phases where, they start fixating on numbers, subscribers, views. But as I said, you're going to go through periods where things are very slow. And it's just about not fixating on that, not putting all your effort and all your energy into caring about these numbers. Yes, they're important, but what's so much more important, what's so much more fulfilling in the long run is enjoying what you're doing. So if you have fun doing what you're doing, if you enjoy making games, if you feel like you're learning, and if you know that your content is good, then you're doing the most you can. If the YouTube algorithm is not on your side, then sure, you can always try to make clickbait videos and that sort of stuff to make things go faster again. But I'm not sure that's the best. I think really just don't fixate on it. I truly believe, and it's been working well for me so far, I just believe that if I keep on trying to better myself, keep on trying to make better content, and really just focus on enjoying what I'm doing, then I know in the long run I'm going to get that audience I deserve. I think if you put in the work, the universe is going to deliver the order in the end. It's just a fact. So don't worry. If you deserve it, and if you're putting in that work, you'll get there.
Man, I love your attitude and outlook. I want more success for you, because I think you're the type of person who has a great audience, and you're going to be continuing to help and benefit people. Like, that type of attitude is key, and I think more people need it. So anyone watching this, go support. Please go follow BlackthornProd on YouTube. Go learn something. Go follow this guy make games.
After doing that, come back here and listen to the answer to this question. So this comes from Left-Handed Heather again. How do you maintain the balance between game dev, YouTube, and real life?
Another thing I've been having problems with is I'm keep on learning. Like, again, I've just been doing this for 3 years, so I clearly have, I think, lack of balance when it comes to my kind of the real life, social life, just doing sport and stuff, and work, because I'm just so passionate. I just love making games and videos so much. And on top of that, I'm getting rewarded for it. Like I'm earning money, I'm getting all these nice comments. So it's very easy to fall into the trap of just working 10, 12 hours a day and just like realizing when the sun is setting that you've not stepped a foot outside, you haven't done any sports. It's something that I'm working on. I'm really trying more and more to limit the amount of time I spend on the computer. I'm trying to maybe even take Sunday off completely. And it really does you a lot of good. I know for sure that if you just work all the time, you're going to burn out, and then you're going to lose loads of time in the long run. So it's good to, and again, I mean, game dev is awesome, work is awesome, achieving things is great, but it's like not as important as your physical, mental health, and just spending time with family and friends, going on holiday. I mean, that's really where a lot of the happiness comes from also. So don't sacrifice your life for just to make great stuff. Again, I'm learning. I burnt out like this summertime because I just worked so much. And that was an eye-opening experience. I realized that if I don't take breaks, I'm not going to get anything done anyway. So yeah, it's really important to have a balanced life.
Man, you're killing it, dude. Another question for you from Avocado Bro. This one is, why would you focus on building an audience of developers? Wouldn't a gamer audience be more beneficial for your final product?
Yeah, so as I said, anything that's related to the game world, so like gamers or even game developers, is going to be beneficial to you. I kind of built this game developer audience, and it wasn't really a conscious thing. It's just I did it because I liked making tutorials. I liked sharing my game dev experience. So that's what I did. I could have obviously made Let's Play videos or videos more targeted towards Let's Players, towards gamers, I mean. But I don't think I would have enjoyed making that sort of content as much. So there you have it. But I guess there's more gamers than there are game creators. So you would probably benefit more. You probably get more sales and more views and subscribers if you tried to build a gamer audience. Me, again, I just did that because it was a more rewarding thing for me to show people how I make my games. And also I love the game creation community because these are all people that are making games, so they understand each other and they can help each other out. And it's just a really nice community. All in all, I'm just so happy to be a part of it, really.
All right, man. We love you being a part of it. So this is the last question for audience. Go ahead and keep asking. Maybe Noah will drop in the Twitch and answer it, or maybe not. But here it is. Silent End Hero asks, what are your feelings on teaching tutorials for subjects you're still learning yourself? This is actually a pretty good question. I've heard advice that sometimes that's a good thing because experts tend to forget and what it's like to be a total beginner in their subject.
Well, totally. I'm such a beginner myself. I only started making games seriously 3 years ago. And so that was one of my goals when I started my YouTube channel, is really make tutorials for beginners. Because I remember just feeling so frustrated and not understanding how to program in C# because the tutorials back then seemed so complex. I just couldn't understand what was going on. Programming has easily been the hardest thing for me to learn. So when I started to understand programming more and more, I really felt this need to share that knowledge with others in a very easy way, which is why I've made so many tutorials on programming, and I've made 2 Udemy courses with my brother as well. So yeah, it's I think as a beginner, like that was another thing. I was very hesitant also to make my YouTube channel. On one side, I really wanted to, but the other, I didn't really want to because I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought I was a beginner, and so I had no right to teach others how to make games because I didn't know how to do it myself. But that's silly because you can learn. I think beginners probably, as you said, will learn maybe in an easier way if another beginner is teaching them, because that beginner doesn't take anything for granted. He's going to teach everything from the ground up in a very slow, easy way. Whereas experts, as you said, they might because they've been doing this for so long, they might know lots of things and think the other viewer knows it as well, even if they don't. So yeah, if you want to start a YouTube channel, even if you're a complete beginner, you can do that. And as I said in the talk, you'll also learn so much by making videos. You're going to improve like crazy.
Man, Noah, we appreciate you taking the time to help all of us be better YouTube content creators, but also breaking down your own strategies, which a lot of people in this day and age, when it comes to a self-run business and making money, there's a lot of people who don't want to share their tips and success because usually it means that the competition is going to get an extra step up or two, right? You're creating more YouTubers, more people who are watching this are game developers who may be stepping into your waters. And that's not any sort of like ominous like warning. It's more so me appreciating how open you are about helping a community of like-minded individuals in an age where a lot of people don't really do that. And so, kudos to you. Thank you for being a part of this. We're so happy that, you and Brackies are helping us get this going. Glad that we got in touch. And from day one, we knew that you were special, man. So thank you for proving us right and helping us support this, man.
Thanks a lot. No, it's really been great. I'm so glad again that you reached out to me, and I hope the other talks go well as well.
Well, thank you so much, Noah. If there's any last plug, I think people kind of know, go to your YouTube channel. But if there's anything else you want to give a shout out to, the platform is yours.
I've mostly said, I think, just visit my websites. There you'll find links to my games, my Udemy courses. I've made 2 whole Udemy courses teaching others how to make games with my brother Liam. So if you want to support me and if you also want to learn how to make games, then definitely consider checking out those courses. And also, I'm gonna have a little break now, but in 10 minutes I'll probably be in the BlackthornProd Discord server if you want to ask me more questions or whatever else.
All right. You heard it here first. BlackthornProd Discord server. You can ask Noah a couple extra questions there.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much, Noah.
All right, cheers, guys.